My name is Goncharova Daria, and today I'm sharing my artistic approach. Probably I will talk mostly not about works, but about probably method of my work. And I would like to start with a really strange phrase that one of my friends, Serbian artist, curator, and a bit philosopher, said about my artistic practice when he saw my portfolio for the first time. And it was Daria is a bureaucrat of desire, bureaucrat of emotion. For the first time, I was a bit discouraged about this phrase, because when someone said to you that you are a bureaucrat, this is not really flattering to you to know about it. But in the process of our discussion later, I understood that this is definitely true. I'm totally bureaucrat in art, and this is good for me because he said that if anything needs structure, it's the desire. So I work with bureaucracy, not only with on this form of bureaucracy, but also with mechanics. And when I prepared my artist talk, I needed to focus on several like topics, main topics, because I had a lot of works and I needed to choose not all but several to talk about today. So I'll start with my earlier project that I'm still working, and I will move to this project I developed here in the residency. Here you can see a photo from my World Eye project, which dedicated to the phenomenon of library. And to start talking about this project, I need to share maybe a context of our specific post-Soviet country when I was born. So as I'm a Russian and I'm living in Serbia now. So for Russia and for another countries with post-Soviet experience, it's the library is still the place that has a duality. I'm not sure about Portugal. Maybe you can share Gemma and Carmen with me today. But in Russia, the library has two different characteristics. On the other hand, this is institutions that create a social connection. On the other hand, this is a place that have, you know, marginal image, image with a lot of dust there, and people there still image the library like this place you don't want to go. But in many cities, a lot of cities has a contemporary library with co-working, with really nice spaces, with view on the Fontanka channel, for example. But yes, a lot of my friends actually think about the library like the place with dust, I don't know, and not so nice to visit, and probably librarians can shout it on you. So probably for me it will be nice to know about your experience too. If you want to share with me, you can.
I think it's really about what library you have in your city. As you were saying, the modern or the view. Like for me, in Lisbon, I have this actually rediscover libraries. I think it's amazing to be in a library, to have this atmosphere of sharing silence with other people, having a nice view of the river or of a garden. And I don't think in Portugal we have this association. I would say in Italy we have it more.
Mhm.
Like,
In Sweden, I suppose it is super like contemporary place for socialization. Yes.
The library we have in Malmö is quite nice actually. It's located in the park, and lots of people who study go there. So it's a big glass house built on top of an old one. So it's has lots of kids activities also too, like quite integrated.
A big cute library. Yeah. So yes. So this is a difference from probably a Western European country, and that's why I was interested in this phenomenon. But also, when I was a child, I was absolutely lover of the library because I was shy, and the library was the place for me, like safety place, place where I um, can develop my imagination, where I'm feel calm and relaxed, and I took a lot of books with me to the home. So it was born from a big love to the library too. So what happened next? It was a residency, my first residency that took place in 2021, and it was before the war, so I'm still lived in Russia that time, and the residency was not so far from Moscow, near the lake Senesh. It was amazing place with beautiful view, and there I started this project. It was a group residency, but despite on it, every artist work independently and separate. So there I organized some trips to Moscow and different cities, and I collected information from the library. Actually, what was it? It was such a things. Sorry, this is a Russian table because yes, it was data in Russian. So it was reading lists of different users. When I came to the library, different library in different cities. Probably I visited, I don't know, maybe 40 libraries in different cities in Russia. I asked librarians to share with me the information, reading lists of different users, anonymous, because this is a private information. They could not share with me personal data, but I still could ask them to give me this list with books that on the hand of the different users. So then I started to work with this data and focused on the drawings. Here you can see card. It was one from this era. And what did I do there? So it was inversion, because I don't know about European countries, but in Russia we had, in old libraries card where you can see information about book. I don't know. Did you have?
into a drawer?
Yeah, into.
In some libraries still have it, not many, but yes.
This is nice, yeah, and.
I still remember. I'm not so young, so yeah.
So you have digitalized everything now.
Yeah, and everywhere, I think. But I decided to make inversion with this card, and not talking about book on the card, but talking about person interests. So I use this information from the reading lists to integrate symbols on the card. I interpreted the data, information of the books, and create symbols that can be understandable for everyone in different countries, probably. And also, it was information that was actual only that time, because your interest changed a lot with time. And I made an archive with 20 cards for every person. I didn't know no one from them. It was like personal anonymous, but I share my attention for these people. And as the library is a social institute for me, and I'm interested in process of communication and problem of communication too. It was important for me to create something with random people. You know, I'm really passionate about to do something with random people. Yes, and second participatory project that I did, if explain what does it mean participatory for me. For me, this is a project where you, where is approach is creating with making art which engages public participation, who influence on your work. So.
I have to intervene. Like, I think participational project is about when people are aware they are participating. In this case, you are basically diving into datas.
Yes, but I engaged with librarians. So I went to the libraries, and they choose which information they can give me. They choose people. So yeah, it was there is several methods of participation, and it was my start. And what I talked during this residency, it was for me very important to go out on the street and to show my face, like to make meeting face to face, because this is the next step for me. Another part of this project, because it's quite big, this is a textile book where I used not reading list, but images from different libraries, and also definition from the dictionaries, and information from my research part. I'm still working on this book now, because it's a lot of time you need for embroider something. And this is one of my solo exhibition. I had two solo exhibition with this project on different parts, and here you can see cards. You can see stands, postments with textile pages, and also you can see interactive installation where I invited people to join to this project, and also share opinion how I did that time, but different. It was like a chair, a table, and boxes, and they could take empty cards. Then they needed to take from second boxes list with a destination on the library in that town. I chose some books, and then I found where they in the library, in which library, and they needed to put a field card in this third box. So I got a lot of cards, probably, I don't remember, but about 90 or 100 cards, because I repeated this part twice. One time in Samara, the city where I was born, and one time in new Tretyakovka Gallery in Moscow. It was a group exhibition. So, and one more part of this project, it was also connected with coming to the library, because it was another residency in Kolomna in Russia too, And there I collected things from the librarian's books. So I just went to the different libraries and trying to find something between pages. I collected a lot of things, different things, and then I worked with them with using like sculpture method and to creating image of folder, you know, with label. And conservated this thing like an archive too.
Where, can I ask,
Yeah.
where does the shapes come from?
Shapes?
Yeah, the shapes.
The name of each object, lake. So lake 1, lake 2, lake 3,
yeah.
because my thought was born from an idea. You can find a lot of things on the bottom of the lake, and lake sometimes is dry, so but it's very rare. And very rare someone to go to the library to find something between pages.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was archives of the lakes. Yeah. And if continue to talking about bureaucracy line, I need to share my another residency experience. It was another residency in Switzerland when I was last year during 3 months, and there my project called Notes in the Margins. And my initial interest was focused on the topic multilingualism in Switzerland, because Switzerland, you know, has now one official languages, but it has 4 official languages: German, French, Italian, and Romansh. And it was tricky for me because I didn't know any languages. No.
In which area were you?
I was in the canton Valais. It is bilingual canton, but unfortunately, the place where I lived there, it's here. It was mostly French speaking, so I needed to travel a bit, and I did it. And as for artists who don't know, who didn't know that languages, I needed to focus on my experience and based from my experience. So I focused on the bureaucracy languages because for the one hand it was available for me. You can see a lot of inscription on the street, different countries, different cities, and mostly this is inscription about rules, about how do you need to behave, how you need, what you couldn't do there, or what is waiting from you. So I collected this information. I also collaborated with the library and got some sources from the library, and I also read poetry and fiction from Switzerland to understand how I will work. And then I created something like a visual vocabulary. And my focus initially was to find intersection between different languages, because when some languages are so close to each other on the one area, you can find something really, really common, and the borders can be blurred. And here you can see I work with dictionary too, and main part of my project, it was textile works. And here you can see an exhibition, I still work on this project, but it was a result of my residency. I created 4 textile units, and one of that units you can see here. This is like lexical unit. I used a form of a sewing pattern to create a lexical form, because for me language and developing something like progress process is really connected between each other, and it's a quite inversion too, to sewing pattern, because when you sew you need to start with it, you need to create a paper sewing pattern from the paper and then you sew. But here I did opposite. And yeah, I got 4 lexical units with words that has similar trait, and here you can see also some notes about the languages. Then I decided to create drawing series. It was a series called Row, because when when I'm working, I create a lot of notes. I always work through the text, and I got a lot of thoughts on the notebook or sketchbook, etc. And here I decided that I will create a diary with my thoughts, observation, and viewer can see how I created this textile form. So that's why the series called Raw, because it was like a start of the project. To continue talking about the form, probably of bureaucracy, I need to share my separate work object picket. And this is a work which consists of 3 meters rope. And initially it was only a rope. On this rope I embroidered 1 repeated word, implicate. And this is a statement, this is work like a statement for me between political, poetical and semiotic narrative, because I always work with sign area through the semiotic, like denotated and connotate. And here I made a statement about how do we need to do protest when it is impossible, because in my country it became almost impossible, and people who do it now in very dangerous situation, and a lot of them in prison now. And then I decided that the everyday things, for example, rope, can be this manifestation, can be this statement about this political narrative. And to avoid being seen, as I wrote, put it in the most visible place. That's why I exhibited it on a surveillance camera on one of my exhibition. So I will continue to share work, and now I will talk about my another series from the project Fragments of Navigation, but it will be quite quick, because this is also a big project, and I will focus only on that series that's called Data. Fragments of Navigation project is dedicated to the phenomenon of escapism, how people trying to avoid anxious information. And in the series Data, I worked with form of textile label. That label usually reminds label where you're born, but also it reminds something that you can find in morgue. So the label can follow to you from birth to death. And in the data series, I worked with different news from the newspapers that I found on the different websites, and scan of the newspapers, and to avoid mm, uh, to avoid showing of which country and which year and what's the news, I hide the most anxious word. Also, I hide information about countries, about place, and year. So here you can see only skeleton of initial message. And if you see the skeleton on different textile labels, you can see that the structure of that message is common. So nothing changed through the 100 years, and newspapers and administrative rigid language still use the same style, the same structure. And when you hide some words that can anxious words, it's can be more maybe calm for you. You need to relax, but as for me, like for a person who lived in that country where which started war, this is indicator of you need to worry now, because someone hide something from you, so you just now worry, please. Yeah, and it was my idea, one of the idea of this sphere. And I will finish my speech with that project that I developed here, started to developing, because I will continue to work with it. My project, Ritualizing Uncertainty, the dedicated of the status of guest. This project connected with my own experience, as I feel myself like immigrant. I'm an immigrant now, and I always ask myself a lot of questions about how do I need to behave in different countries where I live, where I'm living. And this when you're a guest, you have a duality too, because for the one point, if you are even in the most comfortable country where everything for you, and no one judge you, you still need to follow some rules. You still feel that it is not your home, and you still feel fragility of that situation. So that's why in this project I created street performances where I invited people to share their opinion about how to be a guest, what does it mean to be a guest, and what's the difference between stranger and guest. And for me, it was a very important experience, because it was the first time when I was face to face with people who I don't know in the street performance. And with this data, I worked. I am okay. If last time I worked with information that I got from people through the works, I interpreted the information through the works. That time I decided to create a documentation of the process. and I created a book, artistic book about this process with answers, with cards, and only some of my thoughts there.
Can I ask
Yeah.
what kind of questions are on the notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What kind of questions were on the notes that people were what kind of questions did you post that you got answers to?
First question, are you a guest now? Second question, I need to remember. What's the difference between stranger and guest? Also, the question, what does the word guest mean to you? And last question is the important rule for the guest is, and they need to continue this thought. It was for simple questions, but for some people needs a lot of time to answer it, and it was quite important too for me. Yeah. Hi. Another object that I would like to talking about today from that Ritualization of Uncertainty project. This is actually also document, but this document I got from the bookstore. And I need to start my story from from Switzerland, actually, because the story and process started began in the residency in Switzerland last year, where there are a lot of free book cabin where you can take a book free. You don't need to put anything, you don't need to pay, you can just take book. And there, accidentally, I found a book about the architecture of Lisbon. You can see it here. This is a small chance to see this book because now this is I have know it and I decided to take it with me to Belgrade, and then I knew about I'm going to the residency in Lisbon, and I decided to take this book with me, despite it quite heavy. And when I came, I noticed it. You can see on the left side up a small sticker with name of the bookstore, Ferrin, and with address. I was lucky because it was an address, because this bookstore Ferrin is not exist anymore, has not exist anymore. Now it's a new store there. So when I tried to find this store on the map, Google Map, I could not, and I needed to go by my foot and try to find the store actually. And fortunately, they had have an inscription near the door with name of Ferrin, and as you can see on that slide, they have some blank, some forms, paper forms from that shop that has not exist anymore. And when I came, it was a bit strange because where are you creating that kind of situation, you don't know how people react on it. And when I came and said them, I would like to return that book to your shop, it was a surprise for them because this is a commercial, things. No one usually return a book in the bookstore. And the seller asked administrator, director of this shop, and there wrote me a thanks letter that you can see here, and also you can see on the napkin on the exhibition where they wrote Daria came to us from the Belgrade, and she found that book in Switzerland, and thanks, and etc. So you can read it in the gallery. But for me, it was first experience working like this.
I have a question. Did
Yeah.
you ask for the letter to be written, or it was
Yes,
spontaneous?
I asked because I needed a document. It was my idea. And as an artist who worked almost, I don't know, very intensive 5 years, I ask myself question a lot about how stop producing, because if your practice is very intense, you have over production. You have a lot of boxes with your art, and now I in this stage that I would like to stop product, and I would like to focus on the documentation. And yeah, so this residency was quite experimental. I tried a lot of things first time here. Some things was quite stressful when I started to do it, but then I got a lot of emotions. For example, from the street performance, it was quite important for me to do it. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm really glad with my project, what I did here, and I can explain. I can discuss about another work, but I suppose that it will be better to talking about in the gallery, because I have no good quality photos still, you know. And I decided, yes, we can continue in the gallery. What
Can I
is
ask a question?
Yeah.
We have a lot of questions, but first, thank you.
Yes,
for
thank
the
you.
introduction.
How do you start working with fabric and textiles?
I started in 2021 in Russia, when I was in Russia, and I started with masks. Unfortunately, yes, I did not add this part, but this is a participatory project too, and this is definitely participatory, like people to people, and not librarians, not like mediator. It was with mediator, but with joining people and talking with people too. But unfortunately, I has no edit this part, because it was quite a lot of information for today, and yeah, it started with masks.
Can I ask what
Yeah.
is like COVID masks or even carnival
No. It was not carnival, not COVID. It was masks that you can wear, like full covered your face,
Oh,
mostly. Some of mask you can put like this, and this side is opened, but yeah,
But
different.
do you mean, sorry to interrupt, but do you mean you started sewing really on that time, or is it a skill that you already had and you
No.
somehow got into art?
It was first time for me.
First time.
First time, yes. Yes, it was first time, but before it, I'm a bit confused because I don't remember what was first. I had textile pages, you know. I can show you here if you remember. Yeah, I don't remember what was first. Textile pages or mask, but probably mask, because it was a laboratory where I was a member too. So 2020 first, it was intensive.
But
Yeah,
already here it feels like you have quite a skill set for comes for embroidery. Like one would expect it comes with a lot of training.
Yeah, that's why we're surprised, because the skill you're showing in the exhibition that is in the gallery, it's really of somebody that has a lot of experience, but actually it's quite recent. So
Thank you.
it's quite surprising. And
Yeah.
maybe as you're speaking of embroidery, I'm a bit curious about. I feel like this relation with embroidery is something quite intimate, quite feminine. There is something there about time
Yes.
and devotion. And I think it creates an interesting contrast with bureaucracy. And you're really putting them side to side.
Yeah, this is quite interesting for me to collaborate emotion and bureaucracy. That's why I'm a bureaucrat of emotions. If following the phrase of my friend, yeah, and usually I create bureaucracy. For me is not only rigid system, but also this is something that has charm. That's why I worked with it. So yeah, and as you can see on the book From the Pillow, I use this method too. I collaborate textile and processual part with a totally bureaucratic thing. So yeah.
I really enjoy this contrast between something so soft and tender and something so hard. Maybe another question I have I cannot contain is about this eager of involving the audience and creating participatory projects.
Yeah.
Because from my knowledge of the history of performance art is actually a practice that often stem off the needs of hiding something, of do something, hiding somehow and not leaving much trace. So I'm curious maybe to know first, which reference do you have if you have artists who really appreciate that work with participation art? And second, I'm curious to know if this fact of wanting to embrace this kind of practice is related with your current condition of exile and kind of trying of being lighter and not collecting so much material, maybe?
I can answer that. I had a traumatic experience. Probably I need to share because I was a child that was bullied in school. So I had a problem with communication. I was shy a bit, and that's why that topic of the trouble problem of communication is very, very important for me, because with these practices I work not only maybe for me like a therapy, but I'm trying to share this position with people, how we can communicate more healthy, how we can do it open. And sometimes it's quite tricky because if you have that experience, you always have some doubts about communication and where in the process. But yeah, it was the main point where I from which I started work with participatory, and yeah, that's why it's important for me. If talking about artists who use participatory method, I could not say only one, but one of the most important is Hans Haacke, of course, who created maybe one of the first work that criticized museum in the museum and criticized very politically. It was a survey in the museum, and everyone can see how many words in the boxes in which boxes. So Ritualization, of course, and yeah, like different project. One of the project I saw in the old building of Le Corbusier that but this is a long story to explain because I don't remember the name of artist. It was duet, but it was project that invited artists to live in that buildings that have trouble with the infrastructure and use the space. And one duet created work with participation to contact people between each other. So, yeah.
I have two more questions that I think that are somehow interrelated, and you've discussed a little bit about it before, but I would like to know more. When you do projects that are based in gathering information, I'm curious about knowing how do you know when to stop collecting? Is it when you found something that is transformative and gives shape to the outcome, the product, or how do you moderate it?
Thank you for the question. This is a good question that I ask myself every time. Yeah, with this project, a library project, it was a bit tricky, but I collected this data during the year. And for me, it was enough because I could not, I didn't want to overproduct. So if when I got 20 cards, it was enough for me. I just understood that this is enough. And sometimes you can understand it when you see the place where you're planning to exhibit something, because when it's like 100, you need a museum to exhibit it. And yeah, sometimes I focused on on time. For example, here I have only 1 month, and as I was not lucky with the weather, so I could just do 6 exits to the city, and for me it was enough. Yeah.
And my second question related to this would be, did you find something transformative out of doing these performances? Did it challenge your notion of guest, hospede?
It was transformative for me personally because, as I said, it was first time for me with performances. I'm not a performance artist, and I'm shy, still shy. And it was transformative with that trait, like with that side. And also I did it first time in another country, foreign country, which I don't know. I'm first time here, and yeah. And during that performances, I met guy from Brasilia, Brazil, who is living here, and I met woman, Brazil woman, Portugal woman who is living in Brasilia. So sometimes you just see some things that is really interesting intersection, some intersection, coincidences.
Will you be doing it again? Will you be doing it again? Will you repeat this experience?
I'm not sure. Probably I will need to change conditions. Probably I need to know more about performances because, yeah, I'm not a performance artist. But I still want to continue to work with participatory practices and data collection. So, yeah. Any questions?
Maybe what's coming next? Like,
I really would like to finish that project, HOJE, because it's a 4-year or 5th year now, and I really would like to finish. And I have 2 projects more that I need to finish, and I will start another project during the next program that I will engage. So for this time, it's enough.
Yeah,
Super
really
enough.
good, really good.
Yeah. I work parallel with different projects, and it's quite big with different spheres, a lot of work, and mostly my project is durable for 3 years, 4 years, sometimes 5, and yeah.
Nice. Maybe we accept your invitation and we go towards a more informal setting.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Daria.
Thank you for this residency and for coming.
Thank you for being such a good guest.
Thank you for the hosting. Okay, we are finishing. Can
Yes.
we turn off the projector?
Sorry?
Can we turn off the projector?
Yes, or you can just close the computer and it's fine. We will switch on the
Okay.
light. Oh,
Ah,
sorry.
no.
This was a bit aggressive.
That's shocking for 2 seconds.